A single person, no employees, $1 billion valuation. I know, it sounds like total science fiction, right? But some of the biggest names in tech are saying it's right around the corner. So let's dive in and look at the actual blueprint for how this could really truly work.
You know, this whole conversation just exploded when Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, made this incredibly bold prediction. He's on record saying he thinks we're going to see the first one soon. And this isn't just some wild guess. It's based on the absolutely exponential curve of progress we're seeing in artificial intelligence.
I mean, it's a huge claim. And it brings up the most obvious question, right? How could one person, just one, possibly manage an operation that big? We're not just talking about no co-founder. We're talking no marketing team, no sales department, 0 developers on payroll. It's just one person and a whole lot of AI.
Okay, so to really understand how this is possible, we first have to talk about who could even pull it off. Let me be clear. This is not a path for just anyone. It's going to take a very specific and probably very rare mix of skills and assets. So let's break down what those starting blocks look like.
So this hypothetical founder needs 4 absolutely critical things before they even write a single line of code. First, they need a built-in distribution channel, an audience they can already reach. Second, they need deep expertise, not just in one industry, but across several. Third, proven business skills. We're talking marketing, sales, branding, the whole shebang. And finally, they need an almost developer-level understanding of AI itself.
And this brings us to a really crucial shift in mindset. Building a company solo does not mean being solitarian. You can't do this locked away in a basement by yourself. The founder needs to be out there, connecting with peers, trusting AI systems to run on their own, and focusing on building scalable systems instead of trying to do every single little task by hand.
Okay, so we've got the right kind of founder. Now, what do they build first? Well, they don't start by trying to build an empire. They start with a single, perfectly automated machine. One little app that basically runs itself. This is the core engine of the entire operation.
You know, pretty much any successful app business can be boiled down to this 5-part system. You've got to get attention, you have to make sales, you need to deliver a great product, you have to focus on retention, and you must provide customer support. The truly revolutionary idea here is that every single one of these functions can be automated.
So how does that actually work? Well, instead of hiring people, the founder deploys a whole workforce of specialized AI agents. You'd have agents writing your social media posts, you'd have agents making sales calls, developer agents fixing bugs in the code, and support agents answering customer emails 24/7. It's literally an entire company run by code.
And how do you build that very first product? You forget about perfection. You embrace this idea of the most minimum viable product. The concept, which is kind of an update on what LinkedIn founder Reid Hoffman famously said, is to ship the absolute simplest, bare-bones version you can. Test it, learn from it, and then iterate like crazy. Speed is everything.
All right, so once you've perfected that one automated app, that little micro engine, how in the world do you scale it up to $1 billion? Well, you don't just grow the app, you replicate the entire system again and again.
The very first step is to dominate a single industry. So for example, if your first app solved a weather prediction problem for farmers, you then use the exact same blueprint to build a second app for crop analysis, and then a third for equipment sales. You create this whole interconnected ecosystem just for that one vertical.
And hey, this isn't just theory. People like John Rush are already doing something very similar. The guy's built over 20 startups, a lot of them in the same industry, with the specific goal of automating management until an AI co-CEO is running almost everything. He's building this playbook in real time.
So once you've built a successful portfolio of automated apps in one industry, what's next? You just copy and paste the entire playbook into a completely new industry. What worked for farming can now be applied to manufacturing, then to creative industries, and on and on. It's like a fractal, just expanding outwards.
But how does one person manage all of this? Well, through a hierarchy of AI agents. The founder isn't talking to the customer support bot. No, they interface with the top-level board of directors agent. That agent manages the vertical CEO agents, which in turn manage all the app CEO agents for each product. You only have to manage the manager.
And if you're still a little skeptical, just look at the metrics. The key indicator here is annual recurring revenue per employee, and we're already seeing super lean companies hitting some insane numbers. Cali is at $3 million per employee. Bold is at $2 million. This trend of extreme capital efficiency is exactly what makes the whole solo billion-dollar idea seem so plausible.
So, that's the blueprint. But it's really important to take a step back from all the hype and get a good dose of reality. This is a potential future, yeah, but it's not something you can just go out and build tomorrow. There are some major hurdles still in the way.
The bottom line is, right now, the technology just isn't there yet. AI agents aren't reliable enough or secure enough to run a business autonomously at this scale. The complexity is just astronomical, and like we talked about, finding one person with all that required expertise is like trying to find a needle in a global haystack.
And even when the tech is finally ready, this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. Experts are estimating it'll still take 4 to 6 years to build a company of this size. AI speeds things up, for sure, but it doesn't just eliminate the hard work and time that it takes to build something truly massive.
So this might be the most important takeaway of all. For 99% of people, aiming to be a solo billionaire is probably the wrong goal. The real lesson here isn't about the billion-dollar prize, it's about the principles. You can use these exact same AI automation strategies to build a hugely successful and much more achievable million-dollar business.
And that leaves us with one final thought. We've just explored a pretty theoretical extreme, but the underlying power of this technology is very real. So the ultimate question isn't how you become a solo billionaire, it's what amazing thing can AI help you build starting today.